We are moving pretty soon, and we're lucky in that we are going to have some movers help us out and pack a lot of stuff. But one thing that they cannot move is beer, and I have a lot of it. So let me show you some of the stuff that I'm dealing with here. So I started brewing a lot more last fall, so that is part of the reason why I have more beer right now that is not bottled. And there's another batch in the bathtub there. This is our spare bathroom, so it's just kind of convenient to store beer in here and ferment it. A lot of times I will just keg beer because I have a kegerator out there, and it's much easier and faster to keg beer. In fact, I have a keg right here. And I'm gonna put some beer in that because it'll just be a little bit easier to transport. That specific beer is kind of cool because it's in a barrel. So I'm gonna have to go down to the crawl space, get it out of the barrel, put it into the keg, and that'll be just an easier way for me to transport it. However, the two batches that I showed you before, one is a Belgian Dark Strong, one is a triple, and I can keg those, and in fact, I kegged the other half of each of those batches, but I believe it'll be better if I bottle it. So those beers are really good if they're bottle conditioned, and they can have a higher carbonation level, and you can store them longer and all that sort of thing. It's a lot of stuff to think about. Like, we have all the normal moving things we have to do, but then I sort of have special problems and special issues that I need to figure out when moving the beer. And sometimes you'll hear people talking about brewing beer and how it's pretty much just doing dishes and cleaning up all the time. And yeah, a lot of it is cleaning up. I have to clean several kegs before they're going to be ready to move. And then I have to disassemble and take apart all the kegging lines and stuff inside the kegerator. I could leave it in there, but it'll be better if I disconnect all that before we try and move it. So what it does do is give me a good opportunity to just replace the kegging lines. So when I moved from Atlanta to Bozeman, I just took all the kegging lines out and replaced it with new lines. So it's kind of a nice refresher. I mean, it means that stuff has been in there for about 4 years. And I clean them a bit, but I'll be honest, it's easy to neglect the kegging lines, but I'll just disassemble everything, take apart all the faucets, deep clean those, and just reassemble everything from scratch. So it's a good point in time to do a deep clean on that stuff. Now we're in the crawl space, and this is where I have the barrel of beer, which is right behind me here. You can see it back there, and it's been chilling. That beer has been chilling in the barrel for about, over a year. I'll have to look at my notes to look at the exact date that I put it in, but this beer was brewed in 2017, and it's a Belgian Dark Strong, by the way, which I have a fresher Belgian Dark Strong that we're gonna bottle up tomorrow. Cheers. So anyway, this beer has been chilling in the barrel for longer than I intended. So this is from a distillery that's in town. I won it in a home brew competition, and it's 5 gallons, maybe 5.5. I filled it up like a year and a half ago, something like that. And I haven't checked it. Shame on me, but it's a little bit difficult. And in fact, I haven't tasted it in quite a long time. Actually, you know what? Honestly, I haven't checked it at all. All right, I made a mistake here, because really what you're supposed to do is sample the beer over time and then take it out when it's hit the flavor that you're looking for. You're supposed to take it out of the barrel, and then you'll have, it'll be locked in with that amount of wood and bourbon and all that stuff. The other thing is, very slowly the beer evaporates out of the barrel. There's pores in the barrel, and very slowly the beer it'll decline, right? It'll decline in the barrel, and you don't want headspace. Headspace isn't great. More infections could happen because of that. And the other thing is, we're in the freaking crawl space, right? Longtime fans of the channel will remember that I had some flooding in this crawl space last spring. In fact, there were like you can't see the ground very well from here, but it was like 4 inches of water down here. It was not cool. So anyway, I wasn't really enthused to be sampling beer or doing anything with it. Moving is a good motivator. And what I'm gonna do, I got a couple things going on here. So this is a little bucket filled with sanitizer. I have what we're calling a wine thief. Really, it's just like a stainless steel turkey baster deal. So I'll take a sample out of there just to, go through the process of actually sampling it. But the fact is, like, whatever is in there, I'm gonna put it into the keg, which is right here. I'll put it into this keg, and then most likely, hopefully, it will be something that tastes good enough that I want to bring with me. If not, one thing that I've learned is there's too much good beer out there to save something that's not good. All right, so I pulled the sample. The beer definitely evaporated a pretty good amount. I took a peek in there, but the good thing is I didn't see much in the way of any sort of infection or anything like that. So for the people that know beer, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But basically, barrels are susceptible to having some bacteria and some other stuff in there. Now, this is a whiskey barrel. Basically had the opportunity to dry out before I got to it. And the fact that I brought it down into the crawl space and that it was exposed to the air for a short amount of time means that it could have gotten some infection in there on a very small amount a year and a half ago, and that could have caused an issue. However, it smells, actually it's pretty like solventy. There's a lot of alcohol in here, and then the water evaporated, but the alcohol potentially concentrated a little bit. However, so again, for the beer people, you may know that blending beer is a great way to go with a barrel. So what I may be able to do to mix in, I would say it could be interesting to blend this in with, a dark strong, maybe 20% of this beer, and then, 80% of the Belgian dark strong, just to get a little oak character, but to really taper down on. It's a little more situated. Let me take you in closer to the action here. So we got the barrel there, we got the siphon and the top there. Gravity is pulling it down there, and it's filling up. You can probably hear it. I gotta say, this lens is doing awesome down here. It's the Sigma 18-35 1.8, and it's so bright down here. I have a light, of course, but it's just doing a bang up job. I need to move this keg upright. And just in general, when you're making beer, you need it to be sanitary. And this is probably, it's just not very sanitary down here because of the dust. There's just a lot of fine particulate down here. But I say that, but at the same time, I'm like, I go upstairs, I have like my dog and stuff. There's always just dust floating through the air. It just seems worse down here. I don't know. It's actually a couple days later since I was moving all the beer around, and honestly, I don't know what day it is. It's just been a blur. But what I'm doing now is packing up my desk and stuff. I kind of have a messy workspace from time to time, and this desk is not ideal for me, so I'm getting rid of it. I'm giving it to a friend. My old office mates, I'm giving it to them, and I'm emptying it out. So I'm clearing out my desk, even though I'm probably not leaving the house for another maybe couple weeks or so. I'll be sleeping on an air mattress and just sort of hanging out there, or hanging out here in an empty house with a laptop and Wi-Fi, basically. As you can see, there's a lot of snow out here, and it's been a lot over the last week or so, and it's been very cold too, like negative temperatures in the Fahrenheit range. So it's been pretty chilly, and let me show you my truck too. That's kind of impressive. Sunday afternoon. I just dropped my wife off at the airport. She's flying down to the Denver airport because driving didn't seem like it was a good idea given all the snow that we've gotten, and there's actually a snowstorm in the Denver area right now. So it's weird right now. It's very weird because we've had movers in the last few days here, so they packed everything up. They moved everything onto a truck another day, and the place is empty. So as you can see, the room is empty. The closet is empty. Now my desk is still here because I'm gonna give it to my old office mates. They could use it, and I don't think I want it anymore because the place we're moving into, and I think I could find something a little bit more suiting. And Georgie, she's dealing with it pretty good. Georgie, you doing okay, girl? She's asleep. She's resting right now, but it has been stressful on her as well. So it's a bit of a mess in some ways because I just did a little bit of laundry, but there's Georgie's portable crate. Closet, totally empty. I got a couple bags worth of stuff here, and it's crazy. So again, skeleton, a couple toiletries and stuff like that, and a couple towels for me to use. Other bathroom, usually it's filled with beer, and shocker, actually there is beer in here. That's one of the things I can't move very well. Moving on to the main room here. Usually there's a couch and a TV and some other stuff. We just have one camp chair though. We got one camp chair right there for me to sit on, and you'll notice I put a trash bag. This is a trash bag right here. So why would I put a trash bag up there? When I first moved into the house, my dad and I were working in the kitchen here. We're putting in new flooring, and I was just cleaning up and stuff. It kind of lines up directly with my head. So we were doing some work in here, and I had a hat on, and I wasn't paying attention. I was walking back and forth, and I was going out the sliding glass door there. I was going from the garage door back there. Anyway, I walked directly into the light that was here before and shattered the whole thing. Luckily, I got no cut, no injury, but there was just glass everywhere. So anyway, I thought, I'm not gonna do that again. I'm gonna put something, so even if I'm looking down sweeping or whatever, I'm not gonna walk into it. So I have a few plants that we didn't bring down already. The moving company won't move plants. I have a couple chargers and other things. I have a coffee mug, and I have a stainless steel pint glass there. Here's the coffee mug. Ironically, it's Colorado, and Georgie's doing what she can. Oh yeah, Georgie's stuff. She has a bowl. This is one of those bowls that helps you eat a little bit slower. And a few toys. Yeah, so overall it's been super weird over the last, month and a half or maybe more, but we knew we were gonna be moving. We weren't sure if we were gonna try and rent out the house and manage it from another state. We went down to Colorado, to the Longmont area for about a week to find a place to live and just kind of check out the area, visit with a couple friends, and then we came back up here to Bozeman. We've been trying to sell the house. We decided to sell it by owner. Most of the time I don't even remember what day it is because we've been traveling, and it's just been a little bit strange overall. And then my wife, she quit her job, right? So she's been without a job. So her schedule has been off. So it's just been I can't get into the rhythm of things. And tomorrow is Monday. I have a few meetings scheduled. Tuesday I have a few meetings scheduled, and I have some on Wednesday too. So there's some structure coming back into play. I have to be honest, this whole first quarter of the year has just been sort of thrown up in the air. Hopefully this stuff will edit together into some coherent thing. right. I think I'm heading out tomorrow, and at this point, almost everything's out of here. So the desk is gone. Georgie is still sitting in her normal seat back there. But yeah, it's just kind of empty. There's just stuff here. And I'm starting to freak out a little bit, I'll be honest, because I have 2 cars to drive down on separate trips. In this trip, I'm gonna drive my wife's car down to Colorado, and I need to fit a pretty decent amount of stuff, and I'm just kind of like overwhelmed with what I need to bring this trip and what I can wait to bring whenever I drive my truck. So that's where my desk was. And here's all my stuff here. Well, we made it down to Boulder, and I gotta tell you, it's been pretty hectic over the last, actually it's probably like 6 weeks at this point, but right now we made it down here. It's much warmer. I'm wearing shorts right now. It must be 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and it feels so good out here. And it turns out there's some decent mountains close by. You can see them in the background there. I'm still trying to get into the routine because movers just showed up yesterday and unloaded our whole household. A lot of stuff's in boxes. My wife's been, going to work. I've been driving. Weather interfered with some of our plans, and I'm gonna be flying back up to Bozeman here shortly later on this week to pick up my truck and drive it down to this much warmer climate.